Well, I was talking to Chad Prather earlier, who was one of the influencers who was there. I actually ran into him on my way to Newsmax in the elevator, and he was confirming what you said, that he did not think that he was going to the White House to get the Epstein files. They were there to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance to talk about messaging for the administration and the conservative movement, and basically this got dropped on their laps. They told them that they weren't supposed to open these binders until after they left the White House, but one thing of note in here in these pictures that I'm seeing is that they're being escorted back from the Eisenhower Executive Office building, which is right next door to the White House and is where a lot of these meetings take place. And they go right to this area, which is known among the press corps as the sticks, which is where when foreign leaders, other politicians go to meet with the president, they will leave through the Oval Office door that's right there on the left where the Marines are standing. And the sticks are where they do interviews with the press. Yep. And that's where they took the photo out.
So wait, they could have walked them out any other exit.
They could have taken them out through the EEOB street exit, or they could have just kept going past the press tents, what's known as Pebble Beach, where all the green tents are, where the correspondents do their interviews. But they took them over to the Oval where the sticks are and then had this huge photo op.
So it's a stunt.
Obviously.
But what's the purpose of it?
I'm not as optimistic as you that this was all to just call out the SDNY. I think Pam Bondi overpromised a bit because she was on Jesse Waters last night talking about how this was all so sick and the first batch was going to come out, but she didn't hint that this was going to be a nothing burger. I mean, if you look at the masseuse list, for example, the entire thing is just blacked out, which is understandable because these are victims, right? You can't put out their names, but then all of the addresses, phone numbers, everything is all redacted. The only thing you get are the names in Epstein's address book. This is a guy with tons of money, tons of influence and access. Of course, everybody is in that access book, so it doesn't really tell us anything. The only thing of note, which Chad admitted to me, was this letter in the front of it that they wanted to put out. But I think it's a simultaneously putting the burden on SDNY, but also the Trump admin a little bit covering their butts because they have been promising these documents. I feel like if she didn't have the 1,000 documents that she's talking about on her desk, then she shouldn't have been making this big show of it until she had access to them.
And that's interesting. Because I'm going to say it again, Occam's razor. What is the simple solution here? And what I should say is, it bears clarification. In the absence of evidence, the solution that makes the least amount of assumptions tends to be correct. That is, Pam Bondi overpromised on TV, probably unscripted. What was she, Jesse Waters, or when she said, "I've got it on my desk"?
Yeah.
And maybe it's just, you're on TV, there's no prompter, you're in the heat of the moment, and you just say, "Look, I got it on my desk," and they're like, "You do?" And then she went, "Oh, crap, I've got some flight logs on my desk."
Right.
Realized it was a big nothing burger and needed to figure something out. That seems to make sense. However, it's not necessarily the simplest of solutions. We know that, look, Southern District of New York went after James O'Keefe. This is the same. It's not the same office necessarily that went after Trump, but it is New York in this same jurisdiction, essentially, at the state level, that went after Donald Trump with false charges. I am not surprised in the least bit to hear that the AG requested documents and they did not turn them over and are resisting, because of all of the offices, this is the one that's presumed to be the most, well, there's two. The DC field office and I believe SDNY were considered to be deeply corrupt. So I do believe it is entirely possible that Pam Bondi was like, she got a call. Well, actually, let's pause. She did go on TV and said, "I got the Epstein list on my desk." But the story is also that it wasn't until last night, I believe, that she got a call from a whistleblower saying there's more documents. So she did promise this would be it.
I think it's fair to say that the SDNY is probably doing what she's accusing them of. But I would say, she did a press conference, I think it was last week, announcing that she was filing these charges against Letitia James and Kathy Hochul and the DMV guy in New York. And that got tons of press attention. So I don't know why she couldn't have done the exact same thing to levy the charges against the SDNY. Why do you have to trot out the influencers with this binder?
I just did a quick search on this. This is the office where they were going after Eric Adams. And when Pam Bondi and the Trump administration instructed them to drop the charges, they started resigning en masse. Mm-hmm. Like, these people are deep, leftist ideologues. Maybe there's nothing related to the Epstein list. Maybe they're trying to find a way to purge out this ideologically driven office. Who knows?
Could be.
But I'll tell you, they're claiming Pam Bondi says you will, or the FBI will. She's basically telling Cash, like, I'm your boss. I want the FBI to give me these documents tomorrow morning. The question is, tomorrow, 12 hours from now, are they going to get them?
I don't know. I really hope they do. I think there's a lot of people that are going to look at this and they're just going to feel like the administration is dodging.
Yeah.
And regardless of if substance doesn't come soon. And I think that this even overshadows the letter that she sent to New York's Southern District, which I do think that they're it's likely that they're covering stuff up. They're trying to protect people that had have been, somehow broken the law or whatever. But I think that it's a bad look to do the whole.
I've got a clarification and a correction. I just did a quick search. The Southern District of New York has conducted multiple investigations involving Trump. The Michael Cohen investigation, the inaugural committee investigation, attempts to influence SDNY. So the Cohen thing is particularly interesting. In August 2018, SDNY prosecutors charged Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, with campaign finance violations related to hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. So that is the hush money case that they've brought against Trump. I believe that was at the state level, though. I could be wrong. It all. My apologies, but like, so much has happened. It kind of just muddles together,
Yeah.
The theory that this is some kind of 4D chess scheme on Pam Bondi's part against SDNY just doesn't hold up, in my view. I think it's true that she overpromised, and maybe an unintended consequence is that people are realizing the corruption of SDNY. But I do not believe the narrative that she was planning this whole press manipulation all along to turn people's attention. And even if she did, it's clearly not working, because the main narrative that I'm seeing so far is that people are angry at her and at the Trump administration for overpromising and what appears to be lying to the public about what they were going to get access to. And that's what I'm mad about. It also doesn't justify the fact that the House Judiciary official account for the House Judiciary GOP rickrolled us.
Yeah,
literally.
That's really bad.
First of all, that's not even a funny meme in 2025. It's been like 15 years since anyone thought that was funny. But second of all, that is so deeply disrespectful, not only to the people who voted this administration into power, but also deeply disrespectful to the victims of child trafficking that are in question.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.